All right, everybody, today we're going to go over the lowering operation, how to set up a system and set up someone ready to be lowered over the edge to make access to a victim. Lucas, who's filming this today, is going to act as my victim, but he's also double duty filming as well. For this scenario, we need to think ahead before we get too far committed one way or another, as far as what we're dealing with, what our scene looks like, what we have the ability for anchors, and we got to be forward thinking because we got to think about how we're going to transition to a haul, because how we commit ourselves in the lower is going to affect our system for the haul. So in this situation, we're going to utilize these two pieces of edge protection to simulate that this is the edge. We're going to utilize the front of the fire engine as one anchor point, and then I'm going to go ahead, just for the purpose of this video, to set up a second anchor point. We're going to use the no parking sign as our second anchor. Obviously that is way too small and ideally would not be used as a second anchor, but we're going to use it just in simulation for this situation. So first things first, we need to set up our change of direction pulley. So we're going to utilize the engine, and we're going to park it in a place where we can set up our change of direction here. We'll say that the engine's been locked out, tagged out, chocks are placed. Everybody knows it is not to move if we're utilizing a moving vehicle. We have these eyelet hooks on the front bumper of the engine that are bolted into the frame and able to be used. In this situation, we're going to start. I like to pre-tie at least one or two of these webbings in our bag to set up so they're pre-tied, so we can use them quickly to put into a basket sling formation, just like that. Super fast, super simple anchor, and set up our change of direction pulley. We're then going to go over to our anchor where we're going to set up our system. So we want the MPD put here on the edge, so that way when we go to a haul, we could utilize between us and the fire engine to set up for our haul field. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to assume that this is a tree that's greater than 5 inches, concrete post, preferably something with a closed top, so that way we can just utilize a traditional basket sling anchor here as well. We're going to take our anchor plate, system. We got our MPD. It's already in the bag. It's been reeved, set up properly. So now that we know we're all set up, we also have whatever materials we're going to need to put in a basic 3-to-1. We're going to go ahead and pull a bunch of slack through this line and put it into the system. Our rescuer would be right here at the edge, ready to go over. Pulls all this up. We can then hook our rescuer in. Our rescuer is already in a harness. We get him hooked into the system, and then we're going to go ahead and tension the system up. Okay. Once we've reached this point, we know that I've got my rescuer, he's in the harness, he's been secured into the system. Now, as the person that built the system, it's my responsibility to request a safety check. The system needs to be safetied and checked by somebody who wasn't involved in building the system. So it's really important that everything gets safety and double checked before we send our rescuer over the edge. So we start with the harness, we go through, we make sure it's tight, make sure everything is secured properly. Make sure that our carabiners are locked and closed. Pull on it all. Make sure we're good. We come back here to our anchor. Make sure that it's secure. Tie it off, our knot's tight. Make sure that our carabiners are oriented correctly. Locked and tight. Carabiners closed, we're good. Follow the rope all the way back. The main part of our system, we're going to repeat that process again. Okay. Once we've verified it and everything's closed and ready and locked, safety signed off on it, we're going to be ready to go. At that point, we need to identify a few positions for communication. As a person who built the system, I'm going to go ahead and operate it. Safety signed off on it. We need to assign somebody to be an edge attendant, where they're going to stand at the edge. They're going to maintain eye contact with the rescuer, as well as eye contact with the person operating the system, and control the speed, communicate any hazards, as we lower the rescuer down over the hill. So right now we're gonna slowly lower our rescuer just a few steps over the hill for the purpose of this video, and then I'll go over how to secure the system, how to tie it off. Go ahead and lean into the system. When we're operating the system, we make sure that we're not operating in this area in front of us. We're going to make sure that we use the teacup method on the NPD. Teacup it. We're going to hold the NPD wide open. We're going to control the speed with our hand on the rope across the horn. That's going to be what controls our speed. This is going to be faster. This is going to be slower. Right now, we're just going to step back into the system and tension it up. We're going to lower him down slowly. And we're going to stop there, assuming that we can reach the victim. Once we've reached our spot, we need to go ahead and secure the MPD. Okay, so once we've reached the victim, we need to tie this system off. Okay, so like I said, we hold the tension, we release the brake. Okay, the system can no longer be extended, right? We're gonna pull the rope back. We're gonna wrap the horn at the top, pulling it back over, just like that. Now our system is pretty well locked. There's so much friction in here that it's not going to be able to lower on its own. We're not worried about utilizing the parking brake. Problem with those is that they get left on when we transition to a haul later, and it causes all kinds of confusion. So right now we know we're locked off, we're safe. We're just going to put an overhand, quick overhand knot in the system so it can't go anywhere. Tie it off. And that's going to conclude the evolution.